have there been any kind of unusual or surprising places that you found inspiration for any of the scents that that you've put into your shaving products?
I don't know if you know, I travel a lot for my work, not for both jobs. So I certainly get inspiration. I've been working on something. I was in Bali a few months back, and I wanted to create something for my trip out there. And so yeah, I get inspirations from a lot of different. New York City was a great inspiration for what I did with Pastors, something dark and mysterious and dirty but perfumey, and so I get inspirations all over. But most
Yeah.
of my inspirations are really, frankly, I come up with an idea with the label, and that
Oh
really
yeah.
the label is what drives my inspiration more so than anything else. You know, this business is very interesting. So this has been great for me because it really unlocked a passion for me, and it unlocked this creative side that I just never knew existed before. So I never created anything like labels and artwork and design, and I never did anything like that before. Certainly never mixed oils to create a fragrance before, and I never came up with ideas to create all these different. Um, I've got multiple soap bases that I've been working on. But all of that is creating, and I never did anything like that before in my life. So this has been a real incredible journey for me. At I'm not an old man yet, but at the advanced age of I'm in my mid 50s, and I just wished I had done something like this 20, 30 years ago. Um, I guess it's better late than never. But I love doing what I'm doing, John. Honestly, I just love this, and I think I love the the creative part more than anything.
Well, I think that that really shows, Peter, because like you mentioned, your YouTube channel is still active, and I think you've been using it to kind of give updates, right? Even like things that are about to launch, things you're working on that
Hmm.
might be for later in the year. But I do think your enthusiasm for what you're doing, whether it's the scent part, whether it's working on what might be the next soap formulation, I just hope that this success continues because you are excited. Yeah, I love how you said your hobby is first, and then from there, these other things stem out, right? And then you've, I'm all for finding people finding their creative outlets. In this case, you have multiple creative outlets.
Yeah.
Um, I was wondering if you could share from your wet shaving lines. Do you have like three highlights from 2019?
Geez, that's a tough question. Um, so there's a couple surprises and a couple things that I really, really, really like. I didn't want to. I told you earlier I didn't want to do Spartacus, not another freaking Aventus clone, right?
Yes,
And
we need more of
I,
those.
yeah, and I didn't think. First of all, I didn't want to do it. I didn't think there was a need for it because just so many people. And I had success with which was sold, which was Cullen from Katie's Bubbles made that for me. So I've been there, done that already. I didn't want to just reintroduce under, but I was convinced to do it. And boy, was I surprised! We still sell a ton of that, and I'm just God, haven't you guys had enough of Aventus? And but evidently not. So I did not want to do that. So what else? So Asian plum wouldn't fall in that category because now that's um, going on 2 years.
Okay.
But that's still. But the surprise of 2019 is how well that's still selling. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably all I can think of at the moment. It isn't. There's never a dull moment, John. I tell you, there's never a dull moment.
Oh, no,
That's for
I'm
sure.
no, because you have to wear a lot of hats. You know, there's the business. Obviously, the business side is keeping you busy, but then you're the one making the actual soap and other aspects. Shipping, I'm sure, is fun.
Yeah, that's the biggest nightmare for 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 us because it's
Fulfillment.
yeah because we're very busy. for just a small bit without employees. And I do this at night. I have a real job during the day still, and so it's a real challenge because people are used to, well, they're used to Amazon, right?
Yep,
You know,
yep.
that sometimes you get it the very next day if you're a Prime member. Jesus, and Magards is great, and all these other but they have employees,
Mhm.
and that's what they do. They have a shipping department, and it's the real challenge to be able to, for any artisan. I can't even. I still can't keep inventory. I just can't keep up. So that's my biggest challenge, is to get soaps out in a reasonable amount of time. And when I introduce something new, now I'm careful because I'll say it's a pre-order. So I kind of have the expectation. I build up those expectations in the beginning, so they would know that, especially if it's a new release, that don't expect it to ship out tomorrow. Um, that's the biggest challenge for me, is scaling up. I need to hire people. I'm going to do that this year. I wanted to do that last year, but we started building this. This was a very big project for us, and um, I wouldn't say halfway through the project, but maybe three-quarters of the way through the project. The the guy that we hired to work on this disappeared, and
Ooh, oh
I had to
no.
do yeah. So I had to finish a lot of the work myself in between my real job and soap making, and you know. But I'm hoping to hire somebody this year, and that. Well, I told you about my idea about getting soaps made quicker. So that will hopefully help. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. It's already a challenge, getting orders out. And if you place an order for 2,000 soaps, you know how do you do that? So I think that the best way in this type of business is to take baby steps and grow methodically and with a plan, and don't just jump at the quickest dollar, right? To make a quick buck, and hope and pray that you get it out, right? It's better to maybe turn down business and grow at a pace that you're comfortable with, um, and have that steady growth, right? Because a lot of times when you grow like this, you come crashing down. We were talking. That's what we were talking about earlier. My growth has been the company has been growing rapidly, but we've been at a steady growth. Just over the last 90 days, we've been, and it's unexplainable. I don't know what's happened over the last 90 days, but our growth has gone like this and then like this. Um, but I'm happy just sustaining this, right?
Right, right.
Because it's manageable, and I know what to expect, and I know, okay, I can hire somebody part time, and I can do this, I can do that, and I can, we can manage through it. But but I'm not ready for that whole thing with distributors and placing orders for thousands of dollars of stuff. We're not geared to that. So it's baby steps. That's the,
Yeah.
the way to, at least from my perspective, it's the only way to do it. Unless somebody from Shark Tank comes in and it gives offers me millions of dollars, and uh, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen.
Well, I was gonna ask you about kind of like what are some things you hope to happen in 2020? Just
Yeah, I
making
have a I
sure.
have a lot going on for 2020. Actually, there's a lot more that I want to do. I'm going to be introducing um, more soaps. I have so many in the pipeline. It's just a matter of, I don't want to be one of those that has 100 different soaps, right? Or that I introduce a brand new soap every week, because after a while people they just turn off, right?
Mhm.
Um, so there's a fine line, because I love to create and I have so much in the pipeline. But what do I do? Do you introduce one soap a month, one every 3 months? There are some soap makers that would have just limited releases on a quarterly basis, but then even them, certain ones are changing up, and they're all of a sudden introducing more and more soaps. So I kind of like the pace that we're at. I'll introduce a teaser, but maybe I won't release it right away because maybe it's not ready. I'm always playing around with stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm nuts because I don't have time for this, but I do it anyway at night. I created a vegan soap. I'm
Oh,
not
did
going to
you?
sell it. I'm not. There's just no way I'm going to carry all these different. But I just all right. So you know slick stick. So
Yeah.
slick stick is really a soap base that that I just made really, really, really slick, and added some things that keep it from being an incredible soap to lather. You know, I just want it to be so it has the best of a soap where it's really good post shave and incredibly slick, but it sacrifices the lather, right? Um,
Mm,
which is fine because it wasn't meant to be a lathering. I want it to be really slick first and still have a nice post shave. Um, but the base that it starts without giving too much away. The base. So
yep,
this
yep.
is the first vegan formula, if you will, that I've worked with and I've created.
Oh, so the stick is vegan.
Yes,
Oh,
the
I did not know
the
that.
uh, face spackle. This is uh, has lard in it. I don't think there's no tallow. It's just lard in
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, my soap base is the same as it was, just tweaked a bit.
Right.
But
The
this is
ratios, right?
yeah, but this is vegan.
Oh,
And
okay. Hmm.
so, but I took the original the soap formulation of it before I added other things to make it extra slick and stuff. So it's actually quite good as a vegan soap.
Yep.
So I'm going to play around with it more. I don't foresee that I will ever introduce. I mean, I'm very happy with my soap base, and I'm working on as you know, with Kaizen. So that'll be in 20. Oh, that's another thing you talked about 2020. Yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
a new
yeah.
soap base at some point. Um, but I'm in no hurry for that. I release that when I feel like it, and when it's ready. It's not ready yet. So anyway, to get to your question, I'm going to be introducing more soaps. I have to figure out which ones to get rid of. So when I introduce a soap, I may just introduce a soap or maybe replace that with something else that maybe I'll take off that I've had for a while, and either it's not selling or I'm bored with it or whatever. But most are selling. Some are obviously selling better than others, but that's typical with any business. I want to get more into fragrances. Um, I'm going to have a couple guest perfumers create for me, and I'm going to also look to create some things myself. So I created some summer fig, right? And that's I mixed a bunch of oils. That's something off the shelf, and I love that scent. But for I don't know if I would want to wear that as a fragrance,
Mm.
but I did mix it up a bit, and I have a beautiful violet note, and I call it. I've never released it. I released a fragrance as a teaser a year and a half ago at a New York City meetup. Oh, I had this expo. I had
2018. Yeah.
I had created a fig violetta, and it's a beautiful. I had forgotten about it, and I just remembered this week that this is something that I think I'm going to release in springtime. It's a beautiful, and it made a beautiful fragrance. So I'll probably introduce that. But I'm going to introduce some stuff. I'm going to take some stuff away. I want to get more into fragrances. So that fig violetta I'm going to introduce as a soap, but also because it's more of a beautiful spring, summer. Summer fig is really more of it's good year round, but I think it's actually better as a um, um, cooler weather because
Oh.
it's a darker, you know,
Mm,
earthy and darker. Um, fig violetta is more spring and summer, more
gotcha.
floral. But yeah, so I want to get more into the fragrances and more into skincare. So I already work with a lab, and I don't know if you've ever used our face serum, not not the shave serum, but the post shave.
The potion. No, no, not yet.
Yeah, it's actually really done well, um, and it's not done by me. That's actually done by a real lab. So that's why it's you know I'll stick to soaps, soaps and aftershaves and fragrances. But uh, So that lab, I'm going to have them make some other products for me, for this, like a skincare line, because I want to expand the Ariana and Evans brand. I don't want it will always be wet shaving will always be my first love, but I want to expand that brand in particular,
Hmm.
more offering more stuff for women, and obviously more with fragrances and skincare. So it's almost going to be like a lifestyle, health and beauty. I don't know what we would call it, but the brand is going to become more than just wet shaving.
Gotcha.
That's for sure, and for retail. So that's uh, in 2020.
I want to thank my guest Peter for taking the time out to talk with me. It was a pleasure getting to know him a little better, and amazing to see where his interest in wet shaving has brought him. I also want to thank you for your time in watching this interview. If you want to help the channel, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks, and I hope to catch you next time.